there. Your beautiful grandma is here. New stuff. Bling bling. Bling bling, Fred. You know. Right. I joined the brothers. Bling bling. Okay. This is called something like enlighten or something like that. Awaken. You know better than I do. God, what kind of designer who doesn't even remember what she designed? Told you, grandma. She forgot many things. Too busy. Too busy about things that's not important. Some important, some are not. Okay. Hi then, beautiful people, handsome guys, tough group. Okay, how are you today? You have good food? Yes. Enough food? Yes. Okay. That's the main point. Yeah. Far away from home, no wife, no husband, no beautiful karma children. If no food, then what to live for? What come here for, right? And bring in the weather so that you know you're at home, especially the Western, from England or something. This weather we don't need, okay? They bring all kind of presents, you know. Present that I don't always want to have. Okay, now get down to business. No matter what, I have promised you to read you this sutra, so I do it. I'm just wearing this so you know I'm getting old. There's no doubt about it. I don't know, when I see you, I feel okay, better. But when I'm at home, I don't want to go nowhere. I don't want to get out, I don't want to dress up. I don't want to even eat. Today I did not eat. My lunch or breakfast, I took it away. When I first came here, I told them, okay, make me a kitchenette, you know, just outdoor. I like it to cook under the sky. Okay, fine, I had one. Very simple. Just though the electricity that you plug in, turn the knob, voila, cooking, right? Sometimes when I don't eat the food the whole day waiting there, it's too cold, I warm it up a little bit. Yeah, or I warm some medicine, yeah. Okay, it's all good. Oh, I'm happy. Very simple. Just one little, like something that you put the balls and the stuff in there. Shelf, yeah. They put balls and chopsticks and stuff. Okay, wonderful. And a little electric cooker with the 2 pot on it. I'm happy. Yeah, exactly what I want. Simple life. Because my life is complicated already. I cannot just play with them. These push it button and push that button and push that one again and then wait until it glows. You know what I'm saying? I'm just turning the knob. Simple. It cooks just the same. Yeah? Why trouble? It's modernized, you know. I am not very I'm cave woman. Remember caveman? I just sort out the cave a few days ago only. The cave tradition is still hanging on, you know, all over. I'm just wearing this so you know I'm civilized, you know. I left the cave behind. Huh? Oh yes, of course. When I see you, I look good. I feel better, yeah. I guess because of all of your eyes and heart, expecting great things, you know, from the master. And this energy, you know, kind of, how you say, boosts me up, lifted me up. Oh, thank you for your lifting me up. I could do with some uplifting. Okay, now let's get down to business. serious business, Buddha business.
We should really thank the past masters, monks and nuns and scholars who have taken time to record what the Buddha is teaching after the master's nirvana, and also for the past and present persons, lay or monks or nuns who have really dedicated themselves, sacrificed their time and precious health or under any difficult situation to translate this so that I can read it to you. And we have to thank them. And may they be blessed forever by all the Buddhas, past, present, and future. May their merit be immense. May they be liberated forever. Thank you. According to Buddhism and the believer and the tradition, when you read Sutra and all that, you have to put on incense, flower, and bow to the Sutra first and thank all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in 10 directions, all respectfully, before you read it, okay? And then you cover the Sutra also with silk or, beautiful cloth, and I just make it more popular. Yeah, more easy, simple. And I apologize to all the Buddha. I say if I done something wrong, according to the tradition, my heart is full of respect. It's just that I cannot always do that. So please, all the sin, whatever I've done wrong, is all on me. At least other people, they hear the names of the Buddha, according to the Sutra, they will get benefit. Yes.
Okay, yesterday we were talking about the Buddha saying that a monk, real monk, should not wear any silk, should not wear any leather boots, yeah. In his time already had boots, silk, and furs, you say it here, yeah? Okay, camera, zoom in so that they know I'm telling the truth. Zoom, 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 zoom. You see this one, this part, yeah? Buddha said everything here, okay? All right, yeah. Buddha said so many things in here that could offend many people, offend many businesses, just like I do. Maybe that's why some people say, this is not a Buddhist sutra. It's not Buddha who said that. Nonsense. If Buddha didn't say that, who said that? Huh? I wasn't there. Was I? No, we were not there to tell people, be veg, go green, nothing. It was the Buddha who said this. That's why I said to the team, put the Buddha vegan, not vegetarian. Vegan. What's a lot of Jainism? Mahavira, he was also vegan. He even advised, not allowed, but he advised his disciple to not to even eat root, not to dig the root to eat it, because it might hurt the worms. The worms in the ground. There are some roots that don't attract worms, so you can eat. But there's some root maybe attract worms, and by the digging, maybe it will hurt the worms. All the masters are so compassionate like that. Yeah. Are you Hindu or sister? Hindu, right? Yes. Hinduism also emphasized ahimsa in any form at all. Yeah? Not to talk about going to war or killing animals, to each other, to insects, to everyone. Now Buddha is no exception. The Lord Mahavira is no exception. So not wear silk, not wear leather boots, not wear furs, not wear down. From the birds, the geese, young feather, yeah? Yes. Originally, I thought only when the feather fall down naturally, but maybe by the demand of the industry and the people, maybe they pluck, especially the little chicks. They cannot. Chicken, if it's a male, meaning no more, cannot produce eggs, they just throw them in the drain and then just grind them and then die. Oh, I cannot sleep for many nights thinking of this poor chicken. Oh, God. Yeah. Okay. So you don't even consume milk. I mean, the monks, the Buddha talking to the monks now. Not even cream. Cream is from the milk, Not that kind of cream. Not soya cream or soya milk that we are using nowadays, because it's vegan, it's okay. And then butter, non-vegan butter, is made from milk. You know that, right? Yeah, in the old time. They churn the milk, make into butter and cheese. Yeah. But in the old time, even then, the Buddha was already very strict, In the old time, they don't have this kind of industrialized animal farm. They don't confine them into little cage until they could move no more and all that. And still the Buddha say no. Not to talk about nowadays, they just abuse them and force them until they could not walk, they could not stand no more. This is really cruelty at the utmost. So no butter even. Then this person who avoid all this will really transcend this world. Okay. When they have paid back their past debts, they will not have to re-enter the triple realm. Oh, for avoiding this, you will not enter the three realms, meaning hell, hungry ghosts, and born as animals. Animal without this kind of holy essence, not like Buddha when he was born as an animal, just to make affinity with other beings, with animals and all that. Also, astral being is another three realms of existence, which is the low heaven beings, the humans, and astral beings, yes. But don't say that all the astral beings are low and bad. No, just like if you read the book from Yogananda, his master, Sri Yukteswar Giri, he's in the astral world just because he was appointed to be there to teach, the astral beings. These astral beings could be his former disciples also who has not been able to ascend further, and the master, of course, will continue to stay there to teach them all the way up to the 5th level. Okay, that's why Jesus promised, I will never leave you nor forsake you till the end of the world. Many words, not just this word only. So this is a promise of a real master. This is true like that. But hurry up, okay? Don't stay in the astral level. I'm thinking, master will come and take me anyway. It could take long, long eons. And you see other brother and sister on other religious group passing by you with flying color, and you're sitting in the astral world and thinking, when will I get up there? When? 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 It's just like here. If here you don't practice diligently, you go up there, it's the same. If you don't practice diligently, then just staying there. It's like when we study in the class and we are lagging behind. And if you're lagging too long, then maybe you have to be recycled again so that you become human or others, so that you can continue to learn, maybe with other masters if you're lucky, if you have enough merit. It depends on what you want, really. All right. So now, being a vegan, avoiding all animal byproducts, doesn't give you complete liberation. The Buddha said only he will transcend this world, not S, world, and with a D, okay? Meaning, you be able to avoid the hell, the being hungry ghosts, or be reborn again as animals, like domestic animal, working very hard. I told you the story about a soul who's born in different animals, and when he was born as a horse, he also fed up. He tried to kill himself. Remember all that? No, I don't think you do. It's a long time already. If you have to listen to all my lecture, I think you will grow old. With a big bird here. All right. He tried to kill himself as when he was animals, different animals, but he never succeeded. Even if he succeeded, he was born again in another animal, and then tried to kill himself. But no use. Your karma have to last until the time's up, having master or not. Even the Buddha, he mentioned here, maybe later. Yeah, not here, not here. After, we have more to come. You see that? You see how long it lasts here? Huh? You see how much I have to study, do my homework for you? And before that, I do homework before that also, to check out anything else. And then I keep reading and I lost the pages. Oh, I just keep looking again. Where is that demons? Where is the demons? Because the Buddha was talking about demons. Understand that possessed practitioners when he or she not vigilant enough, okay? And then I lost the page because I keep reading, and then I forgot, and then something, or maybe dogs barking, or somebody bugged me, somebody or something, and I forgot what page. I come back to keep looking many hours until I find it. There's no index here so that you cannot find where is what. Oh my God. A lot of fun, eh? For you. Very funny. The Buddha also asked them, why? Is it because when one wears something taken from living creature, one creates condition with it? Just as when people eat the 100 grains, their feet cannot leave the earth, the ground. Meaning, in the beginning, why Buddha said this? In the beginning, in the other kind of sutra, I don't remember which one, the Buddha mentioned that. In other kind of sutra, when the Buddha talked to someone else before, long time ago, long before this one, and the Buddha mentioned that in the beginning, when this world just began to form, yes, and there was empty, vacant, and then the Brahman being came to establish his throne here, and then he was lonely, and he was thinking, oh, I wish some other beings would join me, and then slowly other beings would join him. In the beginning of that primordial time of our world, these beings, they don't need to eat anything. These beings, they don't eat anything because they came from the third world or second world, yeah? Or even astral world, and they don't eat anything. Therefore, they can fly everywhere. Yes, and they just live their life almost like the way where they came from, like from heaven, yeah? The heaven people, they think and they just get what they want. They think and they just fly. If they want to go to Kaohsiung, they think of Kaohsiung and they just go, flying. No need airplane, no need buying, booking, passport, nada, nix. How nice. That kind of life is heavenly life. And then slowly they live in the world, then they bore, they play, they frolic around, and then one day they saw some form that manifests itself on the sea surface. And then they taste it. Oh, it tastes good. It's sweet and nice. That's the first time they ever tasted some physical substance. Okay, and then, they continue eating that. It tastes sweet. I guess it's seaweed or something in the very primary form, yeah? They eat, they like it, and then they eat, okay. And later they begin to feel like they should eat. They get the habit of eating. And then they look in, there's no more form around. The sea doesn't supply enough, so they go look something else. They see some crawling plants or some with flowers and look good, so they tasted it. It tastes good. So they continue eating that. And later they saw some fruit from the trees and they try that. Then they eat that. Oh, feels good. And so they continue eating one thing after another. And later they found some grains, and then corn and stuff like that abound on the earth's surface. They keep eating one thing after another. And then the more they eat,
the shorter they can fly. The more they digest these earthly food, the lower they can ascend their body. And then their body begin from the etheric body, from the light body, it become more and more coarse and dense. And then slowly they cannot fly no more. And we are the descendant of these no flying people, according to Buddha, okay, story. Now, the Buddha mentioned here, like a human, like the human who eat 100 kind of grain, meaning a lot of grain, doesn't mean we eat all 100, but, like 500, 2,000. 800 kind of grain cannot leave the ground, cannot lift his feet up from the ground. That's why I want to explain this to you, why the Buddha said that. Got it now? And then it doesn't end there. After that, they eat the grain, yeah? And in the beginning, the grain is a big, huge kind of round thing. Like, okay, the rice, for example, a grain of rice is as big as, I don't know, maybe a few meters circumference, round like that. And then at the time, whoever needs to eat, that grain will just roll and roll to the door of that person. But later, they keep eating too much and the grain becomes smaller, smaller. Maybe the marriage has diminished, until smaller size. And they become more and more human, earthling-like. So the grain becomes smaller, so they will use it and then it scatters on the ground and they grow into smaller grain, yeah? But nevertheless, it grows a lot. So more than enough for everybody. And they grow other things, they fruit, vegetable, fragrant herbs, all that, okay. Everyone, they grow on the field. Everyone wants it, they just go out and get as much as you need, okay? Tomorrow go get again. And then slowly their form changes from like a genderless, becomes, they are different. Depends on how much you eat. The more our ancestors eat, the less beautiful they became. And then their form change. Depends on what they eat or how much they eat. They change into men and women. And then it becomes the desire be born out of these the different shapes. And then they begin to do things to each other. And then everybody else who doesn't do it yet point at them and say, how can they do that to each other? We brother and sister, oh, that's very bad, very bad. And they begin to then hide themselves. They start to have to find some place to hide. Then they start to live in cave and all that. And there's not enough cave then, as people begin to desire each other and try to couple with each other. And then so they build houses, and then they need land, and then they begin to possess, this land is mine, and then put fence around it. And then later, because they are too busy with each other, men and women, they're lazy. They don't want to go out into the field where the food were growing for them. So they don't want to go every day to get it, And then so they go out and take a lot to their home at one time. So they don't have to keep going out again. And therefore it becomes food shortage. And then they begin more and more trouble, conflict and fighting, and then possessive, and then begin to say, this piece of fruit land is mine, that is mine also, I harvested yesterday, today will be mine again, next week, next month, next year, all mine. And then it begins the trouble, fighting, competing. And then the government are born. Because somebody has to interfere with all this fighting and arguing and quarreling. Okay, and then you have police, and then you have army, and then etc., etc. And we inherit all this until now. So, now you know. So, the Buddha continued. This is Buddha talk now. So, both physically and mentally, one must avoid the bodies and the byproducts of other living beings by neither wearing them nor eating them. It's so clear. I read word by word, yeah? It's not me, yeah? I say that, Buddha said, I say that such people have true liberation. Then finally, they also have liberation if they don't eat meat. I guess if they don't eat meat and wearing animals or using animals' product, then they are at least liberated from the 3 lower incarnations. And then because they continue to do that, they have no more bad karma, very little karma. Then when any master comes, they would be able to find him. The master will find such a pure and karma-less people to save them. Then of course finally they will be completely liberated. Yeah, sooner or later. So that's why the Buddha say that such people have true liberation. The Buddha said, what I have said here is the Buddha's teaching. I mean the saint's teaching. Not just him teaching, but him in the lineage of the saint. The Buddha's lineage, the saintly lineage. What I have said here is the Buddha teaching. Any explanation counter to it is the teaching of Papayan, I mean the heretic, or atheist, not true teaching. Further, now Buddha explained something else, some other precepts, okay? We had, like purity from lust, no more lust precept. And now killing precept, we just done. And now Buddha continued to expound further about the non-stealing. So Buddha said, further, Ananda, if living beings in the 6 paths of any mundane world had no thoughts of stealing, they would not have to follow a continuous succession of births and deaths as well. All these precepts are paramount, important, so that you can be liberated, at least from a lower birth of existence. And then slowly the master will take you up higher. So the Buddha said, your basic purpose, meaning to Ananda and the monks at that time, your basic purpose in cultivating samadhi is to transcend the wearisome defilement. But if you do not renounce your thought of stealing, you will not be able to get out of the dust, meaning this kind of dusty world, the earth, yeah? Even though one may have some wisdom and manifestation of Chan Samadhi, mean meditation Samadhi, one is certain to enter a devious path if one does not cease stealing. At best, one will be an apparition. On the average, one will become a phantom. At the lowest level, one will be a devious person who is possessed by a male ghost. So it's no good. All of them no good. Even the highest, the middle, and the low, no good, no good. These devious hordes have their groups of disciples as well. Imagine that. I thought only I have disciples. Now ghosts even have disciples. Fancy that. I was so proud, and now I don't think I'm proud anymore. Even ghosts have disciples. What a big deal about me, having disciples like that. These devious hordes have also their groups of disciples. Each says of himself that he has accomplished the unsurpassed way, mean Buddhahood, enlightenment, complete enlightenment, that's what I mean. Unsurpassed, nothing can compare to their way of accomplishment. That means they're on top already. After my extinction, the Buddha extinction, In the Dharma and in age, these phantoms and apparitions will abound, spreading like wildfire as they surreptitiously cheat others, calling themselves good, knowing advisors. They will each say that they have attained the superhuman abilities, enticing and deceiving the ignorant, or frightening them out of their wits. They disrupt and lay waste to households wherever they go. Very destructive group of ghosts, of apparitions. I teach the bhikshus to beg for their food in an assigned place in order to help them renounce greed and accomplish the Bodhi way. The bhikshus do not prepare their own food, so that at the end of this life of transitory existence in the triple realm, they can show themselves to be once returners who go and do not come back. In this case, the Buddha means triple realm, meaning this world and a little bit higher, to the Brahma. So when you pass all this world to pass the Brahma realm, then you are truly liberated forever. So in this case, if the bhikshu, the monks, do whatever the Buddha has listed above, then he will surely be liberated. Yeah. And see, they never come back. Yeah. Once returners who go and do not come back. Okay. Then why does he say once returners? It could be that they have returned already into this world one time only. Yeah, already they exist already as a human, as monks, but they will never come back again. If they go up to the higher level, they will never come back again. Truly liberated. Okay, got that. How can thieves put on my robes and sell the thirst come one, saying that all manner of karma one creates is just the Buddha Dharma? The Buddha means that these people, the one who are not worthy of monkhood, the one who doesn't keep the precept and just put on the robe, look like a Buddha or a monk and cheating others, selling the Buddhas even, meaning just to repeat what he said, but don't do anything as the Buddha did, and just cheating people just to gain their fame and richness, comfort, life, or make people respect them, bow to them, just to gain their own benefit. So the Buddha warned the people about this kind of monk, just the same like Jesus has warned his disciples and the later generation that beware of the wolf in lamb clothing. Yes, after Jesus died, there may be a lot of wolves like that proclaiming his teaching for their own benefit. Well, it's kind of true, because even within religion, same religion, there used to be some wars and a lot of bloodshed. Remember, in the name of God, same religion, not like different religion even. And still the same, many recently as well, yeah? Up to the recent years, still in the same name of the same religion, same God, fighting, bloodshed. What a sad thing. So the Buddha continued to say that these so-called monks, so-called fake monks, will slander those who have left the home life and regard bhikshus who have taken complete precept as belonging to the path of the small vehicle. Because of such doubts and misjudgments, limitless living beings fall into the relentless hell. Not only these people, they sell the Buddha teaching for their own benefit, but they also misled other people to fall into the wrong concept, the wrong way of life, and or go to relentless hell. It is non-stop punishment, relentless. No respite is what it is, right? No stop even for 1 second. In some hell, you have a tea break. I told you that story. But this hell, no respite, continuously. You cannot die, you cannot live, nobody helps you. Nobody hear your voice. You don't hear any of the saints' name in that kind of hell. You don't have even a nanosecond to even think of anything good, like saints or Buddha, Jesus, nothing in such a hell. In such a situation, it's made to you like that. Make you completely forget about everything, just suffer too much, relentlessly, continuously, that you cannot even remember 1 nanosecond about the Buddha or anything. This is a terrible hell to fall into. And it go on forever. That's why they say non-stop and relentless. I wouldn't wish anyone to fall into that kind of hell. Please keep the precept. At least you won't fall into hell. Even if you don't believe me, don't follow me, keep the 5 precepts for your own sake. Don't have to believe me, just be a good person. Meditate if you can. If not, keep the 5 precepts. Anyone who keep the 5 precepts and never kill anyone, never has harmful thought to anyone, at least he can be reborn again as human. Even if they eat meat, but because they don't know, ignorant, and they eat meat, but they have never killed themselves. They never killed the animal themselves. Then they still continue to be born as human until their merit run out before they even meet any master. If they meet the master, any enlightened master who has the power to liberate them while they're still in human form, that's a lucky people. Because their merit is still have to attain, to remain as a good human, healthy and sane intellect, to understand what the master is talking about and follow a master. But if their merit run out or they become handicapped or mentally incapable, then even they meet the master, useless. Understand? They don't understand what is it all about. They have to understand what the master teaching in order to uphold it, to follow it. Then they can be liberated. So keep the 5 precepts. Always think good, do good, and help others if you can. Then you'll be surely reborn again as good human. Have a decent life or maybe a rich life. Depends on how much you give and how much heart you have while you're giving it. How pure you are when you give it. Yeah. Then you'll be rich or medium, rich or poor accordingly. Okay? Yes. Master also no exception. Not because you are master and then you can just live recklessly and disregard it of the law, or no helping people, no sympathetic to people, and no charitable heart, then also no good. Actually, before you became a master, you must have been trained all that already. Otherwise, you couldn't be a master. What I meant is, even you have become a master already, but your karma in the past life, you have not paid, still have a little bit, then it will double, triple, 100 times more, so that you suffer more than normal people. Okay, I say that bhikshus who, after my extinction, have decisive resolve to cultivate samadhi, and who, before the images of thus come ones, the Buddhas, can burn a candle on their body, or burn off a finger, or burn even 1 incense stick on their bodies, will, in that moment, repay their debt from beginningless time past. Okay. They can depart from the world and forever be free of outflows. Outflow means thought. Though they may not have instantly understood the unsurpassed enlightenment, they will already have firmly set their mind on it. Now I want to explain to you something. Burn the candle or burn the incense on your body. That was because Buddha is not there anymore, okay? And some people are so earnest, want liberation, so they do some kind of little sacrifice on themselves. Therefore, if you became a monk or nun in a Mahayana tradition, yeah, just like I did, they put some incense on your head, yeah, to burn it. I still have 3 holes here. Some burn even more, but 3 is the minimum, just because of that. Because it's believed that if you do a little sacrifice like that, you will be free from sin. If you set your mind truly, firmly on the path of renunciation and to help yourself and sacrifice for others. This is a symbol of sacrifice and disregard your comfort for other beings in the future. Yeah, because to be a monk, your ideal is to liberate others, to help others to understand the holy teaching, not for yourself only. So anyway, some burn more afterwards. But at the time of ceremony, for being a monk or nun, they give you 3 burning incense only. It burns until your skin burn off. The incense is small like that, okay? And then it keeps burning until it burns to your skin. Yeah. And it did hurt. And if you want to burn more, you do it at home. Because at the time of taking the precept, the full precept to be a monk and nun, there are too many people. So there's no time to burn more for you. But you can do that more at home. Of course, your head are all shaved already. So it's only the skin, the tender skin. And you burn where the most tender, right in front here. That is a symbol of self-forgetting, self-dedication, self-sacrifice. So that you remember that you must do everything you can to help others, okay? Right, all right. So that's why you're here. Okay, I explained that to you now so you understand more, huh? Yes. So if you want to become a monk or nun, for example, like that, in this Mahayana tradition, you have to be vegetarian. Yeah, and you have to burn your body, your head somewhere. Head is easier for them because the head is shaved clean before that, and then they put incense, it burn until it burn your head, your skin. And then after the incense has burned to your skin and the incense has no more burning, it's only ash, then they will take the ash away and they give you some cool watermelon to put on it. And they take care of you very tenderly, though. Very nice people. So the Buddha say that. The Buddha gave many, many methods to purify yourself because he knows after he left, they might not be able to meet any other master. Even if you met a master, you will not understand it, you will not know. So if you continue to follow the Buddhism, and if you do this and that, then the Buddha will also be connected and help you somewhat. So it doesn't matter which tradition you follow. The original master will also try to help you. It's just the problem is a human that rejects it. Jesus, for example, Jesus always tried to help invisibly, but human that reject him. Or the Buddha reincarnate even, or master any, they reject him. They're waiting for Maitreya, they're waiting for second coming, third coming, fourth coming. They're waiting forever. That's why I don't want to make a Ching because if I registered our group as an ism, then we have more privilege, more easy access, more easy. Doing anything is more easy because we are religion. Nobody can touch us. But we are just an association. Even then, people still think I'm trying to do something. Oh, I am trying to do something. I'm trying to awaken you. and other people, whoever I can. But it's very difficult for any master to come down. After any master come down, they make a code out of it. They make an ism out of it. And then the other master come later on, or the same reincarnated master have problem, by his own teaching, previous teaching. I told you before, in my ashram before, Sihu or other place, I don't have any building. I use my money for helping the poor, the worse, the less fortunate than us. Yeah? I told you because you still have a home to go, right? And homeless people, they don't have. The disaster people, they have nowhere to turn to. Yeah? Even if you get wet here, tomorrow you go home, you have dry clothes, okay? Even if you sit in a tent, so what? Even you have a tent. Disaster people, they don't have a tent. Homeless people, they don't have a tent. Therefore, I use the money for other things. I did not build any ashram at all. And then I told you, don't worry, just wait until I die. You have a lot of churches, maybe. Ching churches, possible. You see, after the Buddha, when he was alive, he would go begging for food. And now, beautiful temples everywhere. And if the Buddha reincarnated, he has to pay a ticket to go in, maybe. Or have to buy some incense or fruit to make offering or something, or have to register as a Buddhist or something, or the same with any religion. When I was in the Himalaya, I normally sit outside and meditate on the rock or somewhere outside, outside in the forest or something. But some days it's too hard or too cold or something. I went inside one of the temple to sit. And the monk kicked me out. Out, no, you cannot sit here. Yeah, I just sit and meditate only. And my legs were cramped or something. I couldn't get out fast enough. So I crawl out. Yeah, I'm going. I mean, I'm crawling out. Yeah, it's like that. Yeah. Maybe I should have make an offering or something. I was almost penniless, okay, when I was in Himalaya. All right, continue with the Buddha. If one does not practice any of these token renunciations of the body on the causal level, then even if one realizes the unconditioned, one will still have to come back as a person to repay one's past debts, exactly as I had to undergo the retribution of having to eat the grain meant for horses. The Buddha had to one time eat the grain that meant for horses or other food meant for horses for 3 months. Probably because he has a little bit of debt he did not pay. But if he had probably burned the incense on his body, then he has paid the debt. Then he didn't have to do that. You see, Buddha very compassionately explained all this, and he even confessed his own debt at his own expense, not wanting the disciple to worship him as a perfect, flawless, enlightened being, but still has some debt to pay from the past life. But this is a Maya arrangement that way, so that the Buddha had to have some debt. Otherwise, how can a Buddha ever had any debt? He's been a Buddha for, you cannot even count how many eons or kalpas already passed. He even confessed that. He has mentioned that if you burn a candle or incense or finger or one incense stick, even one incense stick on their bodies, anywhere, he didn't say on the head, but on their bodies, and then will in that moment repay their debts from beginningless of time. That's why I became a monk, in case I have debt. A lot of debts before. So I guess I'm free of debts now. And all the karma is yours. Yeah. Yours karma on me. Because I have burned the incense. Not just one incense, but 3. The Buddha said here. That means I don't have karma. Actually, before that, before I became official monk, I was in some ashram, walking, going from one ashram to another, looking for masters. And several people will look at me and say, oh, you don't have any karma. Look at my hand, or look at my face. So, oh, you have a bodhisattva eyebrow. I don't know what bodhisattva eyebrow look like, but I did have it according to them. And look at my arm and my hands. Oh, you have no karma. Not at all. That was before I became a monk. Okay? Yes. And then I became Tibetan monk, and I became Hindu monk, and then finally become Buddhist monk. I try all traditions. So if I wasn't clean by the Tibetan monk married, then I was clean by the Hindu monks married. If not, then I triple it by become Buddhist monk. So actually I was free of karma. So whatever happened to me is all your fault. Your fault. Lovely karma, yes. It's nice to blame somebody else. It's easy. The most easy way, is to blame everybody else. Yeah. I do the same. It's fun. Okay, now, when, the Buddha continued, when you teach people in the world to cultivate samadhi, they must also cease stealing. This is the third clear and unalterable instruction on purity given by the first come one and the Buddhas of the past and the honor ones in the past. I mean, many Buddha, one Buddha after another, all the Buddhas teaching this way, all the saints, all the first come ones teach this way. The precept is important. That's why even if you become a monk or nun, even you burn incense, you still need to take precept. You take the precept so that you always go straight, I give you only 5 precepts and you complain, and sometimes you don't keep some of it. If you become a monk, 200 something precepts, monks and nuns, similar, understand me, in the Buddhist tradition. I don't want to tell you this, because if you know it, you have to keep it. Because you're lay people, so I cannot tell you. You understand me? Yeah. All kind of precepts you have to keep, not just 5 precepts. But these 5 precepts, even as Buddha mentioned here, are the main one. Okay? Because if you don't keep your mind pure from lust, other precepts also will be kind of depleting and, lacking. Okay? For example, if you're lusting after a woman, and maybe she's already married, or she's unattainable, and then, I don't mean you, I mean some people who lacking of moral standard or lacking of self-control might try to find a way to harm anyone that get into his way to possess that woman of his desire. And then other precepts can also be broken. Therefore, the 5 precepts are the mother of other precepts, okay? All right. Keep them. Keep them with your life, okay? It's not just a written words. It is your life. It's your guaranteed shine for happiness ever after. Even if you stray from my teaching, keep the 5 precepts, okay? Because if you don't, you will be very terribly regret when you go to hell and undergoing all kind of payback, punishment. Okay, huh? I don't want that to happen to any of you, or anybody at all. But you already been taught right from wrong, so you do keep it, huh? It's not that difficult. 5 precepts is a very simple rules which should not be even a precept. It should be like a standard living way of a human, a decent human, not to talk about saint or practitioner or anything like that. Keep them. In Catholicism or Hinduism or Jainism, they all keep precepts. They all have this kind of basic ahimsa. No harming to others, yes? And stealing is also harming others in a different way, yeah? Because If you steal somebody money or something that he or she needs, then you discomfort that person. You make her and him, hers or his life not smooth, and then you make him worry and then distracting him or her from their daily routine or efficiency to their work, whatever they're doing. So when you do something, think twice, okay, before you do it. That's all, very simple. Whatever not yours, even if worthless, don't take. Very simple, okay? Is that difficult? No. Been told decades already, huh? The Buddha tell Ananda that when you teach people in the world to cultivate samadhi, remember, because Ananda asked the Buddha, how in the future can I help all the beings, even though I myself are not very highly developed, I'm not, maybe not saved yet, but I want to save others. I want to try. So the Buddha teach him all this, yeah? So he continued to say, when you teach people in the world to cultivate samadhi, meaning after Buddha is gone, nobody there, then if you want to teach others and teach them all this, all the above mentioned, regulation, precept, principle, okay? And plus, if they want to cultivate samadhi, they must also cease stealing, yeah? Don't steal anything. This is the third clear and unalterable, uncompromisable. That is the real truth. Nothing can replace it. No killing, no unethical sexual relationship, okay? No stealing. Even if you're married, you have to, I say, taper off. The master in India, even they are married. Many of them do. Yeah. Because they married already before they became a master, or even afterward. But they have couple interaction only 3 times a year, just to make children, to do the tradition family, that's all. Not because they're lustful after that, just kind of duty. So this is unalterable rules of the universe that you must keep in order to be liberated, with or without the Buddha presence. Now, therefore, Ananda, if cultivators of chant, samadhi, in meditators, do not cease stealing, they are like someone who pours water into a leaking cup and hopes to fill it. I mean, useless, useless. You waste your time. If you pour water into a leaking cup, will the water stay inside? No. So if you don't keep these basic precepts, then no matter how long you meditate, it just keeps leaking out, gone to the Maya power. The Maya will take it and use it to harm you and harm others as well. He may continue for as many aeons as there are fine motes of dust, but it still will not be full in the end. It's like that. If you don't keep the precept, forget your samadhi, forget your meditation. Useless to you. That's what the Buddha said. All right, I say the same. In Thailand, there was one sister. She had several disciples during meditation. Seeing the vision that I was the King Rama V of Thailand. It's not my fault if they saw I was King Rama of Thailand. Understand me? Even if I was. Then she criticized me. Yeah. She said that according to her, any decent man will marry only one wife. The King Rama maybe have more than one wife. I can't remember. Maybe I'm not King Rama. I don't remember how many wives I had. If I did, so what? Okay? So I told her, even if King Rama or I married 100 times, or to 100 women, 100 men, I'm still enlightened. And I'm still in focus of enlightenment. And I'm still in heaven. Even Master had to pay some debt, okay? Not maybe not for the master himself, but for the disciples, okay? That's number one, okay? Like the Buddha has to eat the horse food, okay? Actually, in some other karma, in some other sutra, they say because of disciples' fault, disciple karma, that he had to do that. And no matter what, okay? There's a master business. Huh? Your business is just to take your precept, keep it, meditate, and be good, okay? Now, for the poor King Rama of Thailand, he was very famous, very beloved by his people, and he did a lot of good things for Thailand. Very beloved king. And any king who married once or twice or third times, it is tradition, it is obligation. Because in the old time, that is the king, you know, they have to marry and have a lot of princes and princesses so they can fill the post here and there, married to the neighboring countries, girls, princess or prince, to tighten the friendship, coalition with neighbors. That's how they do it, okay? Not necessarily that the king likes it. And you don't know what the king's heart problem. He may have many wives or concubines, but it works like this. Every night he had to pick up from the unknown, how you say, card, okay? Like for example, I have 2, 3, 4 cards here, okay? Or 100 cards, whatever. The name is written here, upside down. So I don't see what card, what name of the concubine is coming tonight. I just pick any. Oh, Elizabeth. Ah, okay. And then the eunuch will bring Elizabeth to me, all wrapped in blanket, ready for business. Understand that? Okay. So the king don't even have any emotion involved in hundreds or how many hundreds of concubines. Just a job, just a work. Whether or not he likes that Elizabeth or not like Elizabeth. Fancy sleeping with somebody you don't like. And every night you have to do it. You don't even know her. You don't even know him. Fancy, huh? You like that? No. No. Even if you like women, you can't just like that all the time, right? It's like a job. And woe to any king who favor just one concubine. Then sooner or later his kingdom falls. You can see that in history. I don't know if your history, but China, for example. Like the Tang, the king of Tang, Ming Huang, he fancy one concubine. He loves only one. And later they hate her. They kill her. And they kill him too. His kingdom gone because of one beauty. Similar everywhere. One time in Vietnam, one king, he loves one of his queens very much. But he has to kill her because it disturbed him too much for his state affair. One time he sent her with a letter, sealed, with the king's seal, and she cannot open, she doesn't know what is inside. Nobody allowed to. He sent her to go to one of his generals with the letter. Inside he said, please kill her so that I will have peace of mind to take care of the country's business. He can't allow himself to be too much entangled in this emotional so-called love affair, even though he's entitled to it. Now, it is very sad, but being a king is not that easy, okay? There's other king also, if he favor one concubine, he's not allowed to. Even if he allow himself to do that, the whole court, royal court, or his mother, his advisor, they won't fancy that. They won't allow that. Sooner or later, he has to give her up, or the kingdom will fall because they will not support him. Because other ministers don't support him. Other family, powerful family in the country who offer their daughters to the king will not support him. Do you understand? Yes. Because their daughters are neglected. And the king will not fair to all of them and fancy only one. Then all the people will slowly fall off their favor. And then the king is alone, and with the queen who's been envy, jealous, hated, want to destroy. And then sooner or later it fell. Many times in the history of China, especially like that. You read them, okay? And you know. So to criticize a king of having many wives is not fair anyway, okay? Whether or not I was King Rama or the King Rama have many wives or not, who cares? You have to see more, bigger picture. You can't just point your nose into the toilet alone in the house and say, oh, this place stinks. The toilet stinks, but not the whole place. The king, he has duty to his nation. He does everything or did what he can in order to uphold his country, to develop peace with all the neighbors. In order to do that, he had to marry his prince and princess to different countries' royalty. That was in the before. That's how they make peace and coalition together to keep themselves strong. Therefore, he doesn't even know who's going to sleep with him tonight. It's just a card, you know? They give you every night a card. You just pick up one, and whoever comes will come. There's no like, okay, every night romantic and stuff like that. It's not. I mean, and if you want to have a romantic one like that, then you're doomed. Sooner or later. It's like that. Because these ministers of the king, they love to give their daughter to be the king's favorite and concubine. Strengthen also their power, prestige, the whole family, like that. Even then, no benefit, but oh, the wife of the king, my daughter. Of course, any father wants that. Any mother loves that. And therefore, the king was offered many from the minister or sub-ministers or the generals or the, whatever you name it. Yeah, they all have. If they have daughter, they offer to the king, and the king have to accept it, so that they will be loyal to him, support him. Yeah, make him strong and the country stable. If the king alone, how can he do anything? Yeah, even though he's so-called supposed to be the most powerful, but he doesn't have anybody support him. The general don't want to protect him. The minister don't want to help him. The ambassadors don't want to make relationship better with the other country. How the kings are going to go on anything? In the old time, relying on that. You see, nowadays we have many more better communication system. Yeah, we can go directly to another country. Being a king, you can go directly, or minister or prime minister, you can go and shake hands with a neighbor country quickly. In the old time, you have to rely on all these supports around you. All support you get. Therefore, he has to have many wives. And he has to be fair to all of them, and that is the rule. He cannot pick one or two or three. Just have to treat all of them. Every night he has to sleep with one different woman. And they take turn, you know. If they have 100, then he has to keep every night one until the 100's done and then return. He cannot have one wife, 2 nights, 3 nights. Just one. He likes it or not like it. It's like that. Even in China history, one king, he cannot have children. It's just like some men don't have children somehow, you know. Maybe their destiny, maybe they are not potent. So that king has no children at all, with all his queens and, you know, second queens, third queens, concubines. No one bear him any child. He is impotent. So what they do? Every night, or every now and then, they make a party in the palace secret chamber somewhere, and they let the young, handsome, able, you know, potent men go into there and have party with the concubines. And then all the children are born from there, become prince and princess, and also marry off outside as the royal members. So the king still can, you know, strengthen his relationship with neighborhood country, even though he himself has no children. He does that. Very good. You see, so the king cannot even afford jealousy, not possessiveness of any concubine, even though if he's important, he cannot even afford to feel bad and then don't let other men come in and sleep with his so-called wives. He does that for the country. That is the man. No matter how many wives he has, he's a good king. You capiche now? Yes. You have to have wisdom, fairness, and IQ, okay? Not just judging a little petty here, petty there, petty. It's no good, okay? It's a little mundane, but you should know a little bit, okay? Being a king, it's not that easy. Nowadays, king doesn't have to have many wives anymore. But even then, I remember some decades ago, one queen of a country cannot bear children, and the king has to abdicate her. And she has to be dismissed because she couldn't bear children. King have to have children. To continue the royal lineage is an obligation. Obligation. So some nowadays, even the prince is married to some lady, even royalty or not, she has to bear children, and right away, almost right away after wedding. Before that, they can be boyfriend, girlfriend for years, but have nothing. After married, immediately have children. You can see that, you know that. We go back to the precept, not going astray from the precepts, okay. The Buddha continue. If bhikshus, monks, do not store away anything. Bhikshus is a Sanskrit term for monks, for renunciates, yeah? Mostly referred to as monks only. Bhikshuni is nuns, okay? The one who take full precept, 200-something precept, okay? And the dressed to at bhikshus, mean real monk, full monk. And the bhikshuni is the one, the same, okay? Otherwise, you can refer to as just monk and nun, okay? In this, the Buddha addressed the full monk, the high monk, okay? And at that time, normally in the old time in India, we don't have bhikshuni. We don't have nuns. Nuns were not allowed in the monastery. It was before. And then after the Buddha became Buddha, his stepmother, or this stepmother, because his mother died at his birth, so the sister of his mother took care of him. And that mother wanted to become a monk also under the Buddha. And Buddha cannot refuse. It's his mother, and then his wife and all that. That's how the nuns' order came into being, okay? But the Buddha worried that because his mother is a queen of the country, highly positioned, respected, living in luxury and splendor, how is she going to be a humble nun, living ascetic life? Also, a nun is not easy in those days, They don't allow nuns because women, very inconvenient to travel around, to be alone, yeah? Also, we women have other things, other needs, yeah? And also, if mixing with monks, there might be other things, undesirable affection or thing might come about. So there were no nuns in the order of the Buddha, and at that time also. But the mother, how can he refuse? So he has to make some exception. But he said, even if you are the mother and the queen of the country, you still need to bow to the monks, no matter how young and how old his monkhood, okay, like how long he has been a monk. You still need to bow to them. If you accept that, then I will let you. The mother immediately bowed to all the monks. Yeah, and so the Buddha has to keep his promise. Same from then on, all the nuns in the Buddhist tradition, even though they took the full precepts and the full-fledged nunhood, just like equal to the monks. They still have to bow to the monk because of that. Not because the Buddha disrespect his mother, but number one, because she has to be humble, okay? To be a monk and nun, you must be humble. Otherwise, what's the use? You just sit there and take people offering and prostrating to you. Therefore, the Buddha make them go out and begging and all that, just to train humility and lessen greediness, yeah, and possessiveness. So being a monk and nun also has a very good advantage. You train yourself in some discipline. It's a very noble kind of lifestyle. Very frugal, very humble, but high living, high thinking, high enlightenment. And now, even if these monks and nuns may not study with me or something, I always, when I see monks and nuns outside, when I pass by in the airport or outside, I always make offering and always make obeisance to them because I respect their ideal. Not their body, but their ideal, their goal, the noble aspiration. I respect that. I always help. I always offer whatever I have in my pocket at that time. Anything, and pay very much respect, humbly to them. Because I think that kind of noble ideal of monkhood as nunhood is very difficult for anyone to follow. And if they can uphold it, they deserve respect. Whether or not they will be liberated or not liberated, I don't know who is high monk, who is low monk. I respect them all, okay? The ideal of life.
You connect the pieces that we can't get from the Bible or the Sutra. We can read, and read, but we can't connect it the way you do it.
Oh, really? Wow, I'm proud of myself. Thank you, Fred. Thank you. I don't know, it just come out. You can see, I always lecture spontaneously, talk spontaneously. I don't have any prompters or anything, whether or not I talk with the public or I talk with you. There's nothing prepared. Well, it's something maybe you have to know or you should know so that it strengthens your resolution in your practice. Yeah, it clears some doubts in your mind. So when you meditate, you're more focused. That's also good for you, huh?
One other thing, when people read the Bible, they can associate things with Jesus, but they cannot remember or they cannot associate it with any other master in any other way. And by listening to you and coming to know you and coming to understand what you're saying, now I can connect the Bible. And I really didn't understand it like you think you do, but I can understand it now because listening to the pieces you put together and the way you can hear one part and you don't quite understand it, but you can remember a scripture or two to connect everything. And this is what you've been able to do.
You enlighten, that's why. Yeah. By listening to talk, you can also be enlightened, which is one method of enlightenment, one of the 84,000 methods. Yeah. Yeah, some monks in the Buddha's time, just hear the Buddha's voice. He became enlightened, became arhat. And that's how some people get enlightenment also, okay? It's just that Kuan method is the surest way, the long-lasting, and always can rely on, okay? The Buddha said that, but in another retreat, I will remind you again. I don't think we have time for this retreat, but another retreat, okay? When you go home, work, take a rest for me, and then I recover or do some more of my job, and then we have another retreat, then we go further, okay? If I'm still alive, yeah? All right. Okay, now. Yeah, because sometimes I'm thinking to myself, can I continue? That's what it is. But thanks to your support and your love and your enthusiastic energy, I survive every time I come out. Survive. Yeah, by the way, I want to ask you, why did you cry yesterday?
Well, there's a lot, Master, but everything you say answers something that's in my mind.
Oh.
It's really incredible how I can be thinking or feeling or wondering something, and you just sort of answer exactly what was in my heart. A lot of the things you were saying yesterday were so prescient, immediate to my feelings and my worries and my fears, and you offered me guidance at the exact moment that I was asking a question, and you offered me reassurance at the exact moment that I needed it.
Okay.
And I am so grateful. Thank you so much.
I'm grateful too that you understood.
I love you so much, Master. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I love you too, and your wife too. All right, my love. I'm glad it helped you. You're a good kid. Anyway, yes. You're very good. I'm proud of you. In case you worry, I'm proud of you. Okay? I think you're a very good kid. Before you came here even. I saw you on TV. You're a good kid, okay? So don't worry. You're fine. Okay, so now you know. The nuns in Buddha time begin from there, from the Buddha's time. Before that, they don't allow women to be nun. Because in India, to be a woman, you should never go out alone anyway. Okay? It's dangerous, yes. And you don't mix with men or outside of your family. But the order of renunciation at that time and before that, it's always men, you see? Men, because they're tougher, they can sit outside under the tree to meditate, they can go out for alms alone. They can endure more, supposed to endure more hardship than women, yeah? Woman is different body makeup, less convenient than a man to be an ascetic, okay? In the old time, monks supposed to be ascetic, yeah. They sit anywhere, they live, they sleep on the ground, they have just a few belongings. Women cannot endure all that. The Buddha was also worried about that his mother, second mother, was a royalty, lived in comfort and luxury, having servants, day and night. How is she going to bear this kind of life also? Not to talk about anything else. But she was determined. Yeah, she loved him that much, and she believed in him so much. So she determined. And then she has become a good nun. From then on, she became a chief of the nun. So anytime Buddha has some more nun, he will always handle it to her to take care. Yes. She was that enlightened. Yeah, but very humble because she knows, she understands the Buddha, she believes him, and she was enlightened. Very good, very good. But at that time, originally, the Buddha doesn't want any nun. Even after the mother begging him, he still don't want it. Because, a royalty and the mother, how is he going to mix in here? And where does she live? How can she endure all this? And is she going to be so snobbish and all the monks will be very afraid of her because she's a mother of the Buddha and the queen of the country? Whew. These two titles scare any man. Not to talk about monks, yeah? And the Buddha worried that monks also very pure and simple. He worried they might feel oppressed, yeah? Uncomfortable around her. So he said, no. But thanks to whom, Ananda. He kneeled down and begged the Buddha, say, she is your mother. Yeah, you cannot differentiate that she's all sentient being. You preach that all equal. He preached back to the Buddha. He gave back to the Buddha whatever the Buddha said. Equality. All sentient being has Buddha nature. And then say, so I think you should also exercise compassion and mercy on your mother. Then the Buddha has to okay. So that's why in many Buddhist nunnery they also revere Ananda photo, Ananda image, yeah, because he is the one who helped them to be able to follow this noble path. But it's maybe it's good for you to know something. Yes. So that you know why is this and why is that. Nah? If I just read this faster, but you don't know much more than the just the written word. There are history in here, there are background, okay? There are facts, and there are contributions of facts into this and that event, okay? At least you know I am a real nun somehow, huh? I know something, right, about Buddhism. I don't know how I know all that. It's just too long ago. Somehow I just know, and I read here and there, I guess, huh? Okay, so the Buddha continue. More strict now. If bhikkhus, at that time no none yet, so he just talked about monks. If monks do not store away anything but their robes and bowls, yeah. If they give what is left over from their food offerings to hungry living beings, if they put their palms together and make obeisance to the entire great assembly, I mean, humility, okay? Monks have to greet each other that way, yeah? Respectfully, humbly. So, if when people scold them and they can treat it as praise, monk, yeah? People scold them, they have to think it's like a praise to them, meaning no feeling of rejection or displeasure. They're feeling like they are helping them. Yeah, of course they're helping them to train their humility, no? I'll take away some of their karma. All right, so if they can sacrifice their very bodies and minds, giving their flesh, bones, and blood to living creatures, when needed, if needed, yes. And if they do not repeat the non-ultimate teachings of the first come ones as though they were their own explanations, meaning if they repeat the words of the Buddha, they should not claim it as if it's there, like they're so wise and so knowledgeable. But they probably have to credit like, first I have heard, yeah, and the Buddha said that, the Buddha said this, yeah. Not like just talk like, like he knows everything, just as if he's the Buddha himself, possessing all this wisdom. Then it's like also like stealing, pretentious and faking, like faking. As if they were their own explanation, they should not, okay? Misrepresenting them to those who have just begun to study. Then the Buddha gives them his seal as having attained true samadhi. If any monks, who are so humble like that, and who are so frugal and ascetic like that, and also never claim whatever teaching from the Buddha as if their own, while misleading those people who just came, who doesn't know who's who doesn't know that these teachings are from the Buddha, yeah? Misleading them, let them think that this is this monk's teaching. Then the Buddha will certify him as attains true samadhi, means attain true wisdom, stabilization in his enlightenment, station. What I have said here, the Buddha, what I have said here is the Buddha's teaching. Any explanation counter to it is the teaching of Papir. As usual, he said that. Whatever he teach right here, right now, at that time, was from the saint. Truly saintly teaching, holy teaching. Anything else that is opposed to it is wrong. Ananda, though living beings in the six paths, you remember six paths? Low heaven, human, asura, hell, animals, ghosts, hungry ghosts. though living beings in the six paths of any mundane world, you hear that? Any mundane world. Meaning the Buddha say that there are more worlds than just ours. Huh? See that? Yeah. All the planets, not just ours. We have been heard in that from your Supreme Master Ching, right? Now it is certified here. In any mundane world, just meaning in any earth like this, yeah? Similar. If any beings in the six paths of any mundane world may not kill, steal, or lust, either physically or mentally, these three aspects of their conduct, thus being perfect. And they keep these three mentioned precepts. Yeah. Yet, if they tell lies, oh, this is the four now, the four precepts now. Okay, if they kept the three mentioned above, perfect, good. But still, if they tell lies, the samadhi they attain will not be pure. This is the four precepts now. They will become demons of love, you mean this physical attachment, and views, and will lose the seat of the thirst come one, meaning they will lose their wisdom, their seat of enlightenment to become Buddha. They cut it off. Wow. That means you will never become Buddha if you lie, okay? Even. If you kept the three precepts above, no lust, no killing, no stealing, but if you lie, you still cannot be a Buddha. Oh man, that's very strict. Keep it, guys, yeah? As much as you can, huh? So maybe you can become 50% Buddha, 60% Buddha, 80% Buddha. Huh? Or human at least, yeah? Not running around in the vicious cycle of birth and death in a lower realm. Okay, please keep the five precepts.